By the summer of 1945, the landscape of the Second World War had shifted dramatically. In Europe, the guns had fallen silent following Nazi Germany's surrender in May. However, in the Pacific, the conflict remained brutal and unrelenting. Imperial Japanese forces, despite facing overwhelming odds and devastating firebombing campaigns, showed no signs of unconditional surrender. It was within this tense atmosphere that the world was about to witness a technological and humanitarian turning point that would redefine modern history. The road to August 1945 began years earlier with the Manhattan Project. This top-secret Allied research program, led by the United States with support from the United Kingdom and Canada, sought to harness nuclear fission for military use. By July 1945, the first successful test, the Trinity test, was conducted in the New Mexico desert. With this new power in hand, President Harry S. Truman faced a decision that remains one of the most scrutinized in history. Military planners were preparing for Operation Downfall, a massive ground invasion of the Japanese home islands. Estimates for American casualties were staggering, reaching into the hundreds of thousands, while Japanese losses were expected to be even higher due to the civilian mobilization and the no-surrender doctrine. In late July, the Allied leaders issued the Potsdam Declaration, demanding the unconditional surrender of all Japanese armed forces. When the Japanese government did not provide a definitive positive response, the order was given to use the atomic weapon. On the morning of August 6, 1945, a B-29 superfortress named the Enola Gay, piloted by Colonel Paul Tibbets, took off from Tinian Island. Its destination was Hiroshima, a city of significant industrial and military importance. At 8:15 a.m., the uranium-based bomb, nicknamed Little Boy, was released. It detonated roughly 1,900 feet above the city. The explosion was equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT. In an instant, the center of Hiroshima was obliterated by a blinding flash and a massive heat wave, reaching temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. An estimated 70,000 to 80,000 people were killed immediately, with tens of thousands more succumbing to injuries and radiation sickness in the months to follow. Despite the destruction, the Japanese Supreme Council for the direction of the war remained divided on whether to surrender. 3 days later, on August 9th, a second B-29 boxcar departed for the city of Kokura. However, heavy cloud cover obscured the target, leading the crew to proceed to their secondary objective, Nagasaki. At 11:02 a.m., the plutonium bomb known as Fat Man was dropped. Although Nagasaki's hilly terrain cushioned some of the blast, the explosion was more powerful than the first, killing an estimated 40,000 people instantly. That same day, the Soviet Union declared war on Japan and launched an invasion of Manchuria, further complicating the Japanese position. The double blow of the atomic bombings and the Soviet entry into the war forced a resolution. On August 15th, Emperor Hirohito broke historical precedent by addressing the Japanese people via radio, announcing Japan's surrender. He cited the new and most cruel bomb as a primary reason for the decision, stating that continued fighting would lead to the total extinction of human civilization. On September 2nd, 1945, the formal surrender was signed aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay, officially ending World War II. In the decades since, the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki have been viewed through multiple historical lenses. Many historians argue that the use of the bombs was a necessary measure to end the war quickly and avoid the carnage of a mainland invasion. Others question the ethics of using such weapons on civilian populations and suggest that Japan might have surrendered shortly without them. Regardless of the perspective, the events of August 1945 changed the world forever. They signaled the end of the greatest conflict in human history and the beginning of the nuclear age, a period defined by the awesome power of the atom and the enduring quest for global peace. Considering the historical context and the alternatives available at the time, do you believe the use of the atomic bombs was a necessary measure to end the war? Or could a surrender have been achieved through other means? Let us know your perspective in the comments below. If you enjoyed this insight, support the channel by hitting that subscribe button. Let's shape our next video based on your ideas. Which historical moments are you curious about? Let me know in the comments below.